I have my leg bands pinned into the bottom of my legs for my joggers, and I'm going to go ahead and sew this at 5/8 inch seam allowance and then again at 3/8 inch seam allowance. This is going to be pretty similar to what we did with our waistband. We're going to want to stretch as we go. If you can fit your leg band on the arm of your machine like this, it makes it a lot easier. So I would recommend doing that. If you're doing the extra small, it might be a little tight, but any other side should be okay. And extra small, I would still try it, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to start at a seam. It doesn't really matter where you start. You're just going to sew all the way around. And I'm going to press this button. That makes it so that anytime I stop, my needle ends in the down position. That just makes it easier for me to pull out pins. So I'm going to start by doing a back stitch, forward 3 stitches and backward 3 stitches. And then I'm going to take out any pins I might sew over by accident. And I'll sew all the way around, and then also again at 3/8 inch seam allowance. Want this thread out of the way. I want my seam allowance to be open as I sew, so I'm just going to make sure it lays open as I sew here. I might need to lift up my presser foot and tuck it under. And fix it again. Okay, and now I'm going to be approaching the seam that I already sewed, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim those threads before I sew over them, get them out of my way, and also until I'm right on top of that seam again. So once I'm on top of the seam, I can backstitch and pull this off. I'm going to lift my needle up there and trim those threads. You can see how I sewed around. I'm going to watch for any tucks. If I pull it flat, it should look flat. There might be like a little bit of gathering, and that's fine. But if I pull it flat and there's like a fold or something, that's a tuck, and you're going to want to fix that before you move on. The next thing I'm going to do is go around the whole thing again at 3/8 inch seam allowance. I will line it up and get you started, but then you're going to sew on your own so that you don't have to watch me sew again. So I'm going to line it up at 3/8 inch seam allowance here. You'll notice that also means, so this is 3/8 inch. I'm also lining this seam up with the edge of my presser foot because 1/4 plus 3/8 seam allowance is 5/8 inch seam allowance, which is what this seam allowance right here is. But I'm going to sew around at my 3/8 inch seam allowance, and I'll backstitch at the beginning and end and just sew around, and I'll let you do that on your own, but that's essentially what I will be doing. So I'll just start right here and backstitch, and then I'll go all the way around the whole seam of the leg, or the leg band.